What's going up, guys? Welcome back to the video. So today I'm going to be talking about why it's good for everybody to ridicule you and doubt you. Now, when somebody ridicules you and says, bro, you don't know what you're doing, why are you making that decision? Now, sometimes it could come from a place of, oh, maybe he is right. Maybe I should not do so and so, right? But in some cases, like let's say you want to change careers and you want to make a big change in your life, a lot of the times, the people that don't support you, people that may be jealous of you when you try to take big moves, or people that just don't know what you're trying to do, they may say that, oh, you should not go down a certain path. Now that path could be, let's say, going into entrepreneurship, starting a business, starting a YouTube channel, going for that singing career that you always wanted, going into acting, or just some other non-traditional path to making money and improving your career. Now sometimes they're coming from a place of being cautious because they don't really know what you're trying to get into. Because a lot of the times people want you to go down the traditional path of going to school, getting a college degree, getting a 9-to-5 at a big company, right? Getting a 401k or a pension if you work for a government job, working there for 35 to 40 years, maybe slowly moving up the ranks if you're able to like middle level management, and then retiring at the age of 65, right? That's usual path, right, that people take. But for people like you and I, maybe sometimes that's not the path that we should be taking. Maybe we're called to do greater things in life, and maybe you have a fire in you to do something more in life, to do something better, and to make a name for yourself. And that's why I want to encourage you to go for what you really want and not just listen to your parents and your family and your friends to get a 9-to-5 and just do whatever, right? And just like work a dead-end job or work at corporate, always being told what to do by your boss and not having any room doing great things. I got my beverage. It tastes like nothing, but 0 calories. That's what matters, right? Even though I have a 0-calorie drink, I have a bunch of food here with a bunch of calories, so definitely not following my diet right now, but I'm gonna show you what I got. I can't film too much right now because the music is gonna screw up my copyright, right? But anyway, I got some kind of ciabatta sandwich with egg and I think cheese and some other stuff right here. I haven't had Panera in a while, but it smells good. I'm gonna try it. It's kind of bland, but it's really soft. This reminds me of my food and travel, food excursion days when I had to film in restaurants, but I don't do that anymore, so we could definitely use some sauce. Now I'm gonna try cinnamon bun. I've been wanting one for months. I've actually wanted cinnamon bun since like December. I've been dreaming about these, but I'm gonna try it. Let's see if it's any good for Panera bread. Wow, it's like a solid 8 out of 10. That's good. I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna see outside because I don't want to get a copyright strike. To be honest, I sometimes doubt myself too. I wonder if I should keep doing this, if I'm gonna get any views, because I've made 4 videos already on this channel and I've only gotten like 10-15 views each, which is awful, and I sometimes really don't want to do it. And so you really have to be grounded that you will be able to make it and believe in yourself, because if you don't, you're going to want to give up. You're going to listen to those naysayers and you're going to end up self-sabotaging yourself and give up early, when if you kept going for a little longer, you might have seen some success. So I'm actually inside Old Navy right now. I can't talk for long because of the copyright, but I walked in, but I don't think I could get anything because I can't afford anything. As you know, I'm rock bottom and I can't afford to buy clothes, so I better walk out of here before I walk out with $100 worth of stuff, or $200. Point number 2 is I'm also getting ridiculed and being made fun of, and people are doubting me. Now, the reason why people are doing that because they don't believe in my vision. They don't believe that I could create a YouTube channel and a business and just be able to excel, right? Like those channels. And so people think that I should go back to my EMT job and I should just go back to Northwell and just work there. And because to them, it'll look like success. It'll look like, okay, he has a stable job, something that he could work in for the next 30, 40 years, but that's not what I want. You know, I had a CEO that once told me that I'll never be successful if I work for somebody else, right? Working hourly or working with a salary. I have to work for myself, right? In the business, that's the only way I could really achieve financial freedom and I could make the type of money that I desire. And I hope you could do that too. So I hope you think about that and that you desire to make that kind of money too. And don't think too small, you have to think bigger. And so what I want to talk about now is that when other people doubt you and people aren't too sure about the path you are taking, sometimes it's a good sign because you don't want to just be on the bandwagon and follow everybody else, but you want to be different. And so sometimes it might be better to go down the path that not other people are taking, or usually a path that other people usually don't take, because maybe that's a sign that that's where the lucrative businesses are, or maybe that's where the money or the success is. So if most people are going to college and they're getting a 9-to-5, working at a company for 40 years or whatever, you know, like how I always mention, then maybe that's not the path for you. Maybe your path may be starting a YouTube channel, building a business out of it, you know, starting your music career, starting your acting career, or some other side hustle that you have. And maybe you can make that into a career if you stick with it, because not everybody's meant to work the 9-to-5 for 40 years, working for a pension or a 401k, always being told what to do by their boss, and just having your potential limited by your boss, because that's what it is. That's what it really comes down to. You can't succeed as you want to when you're working a regular 9-to-5, because the company that you work for or your bosses, they literally cap your potential and they set your ceiling for if you succeed or not in life. And I just don't really like that, which is why when I used to work my EMT job, I had a CEO, I don't know what kind of company he did, but I ran into a successful businessman and he said, here's one thing you have to remember. You will never get rich working hourly or even working for somebody else. You have to work for yourself. That's what he told me. Not those exact words, but like, you know, that was the gist of it. And so you really got to think about, if big company CEOs are saying that, maybe it's worth listening to. I really want you to think about your path that you're taking right now. Are you taking the path that you're supposed to take? Are you taking the path that you want? Or are you just taking the path that other people set for you, that other people expect of you? Maybe becoming a doctor or a lawyer, engineer, a nurse, an accountant, you know, working in finance, whatever it is. Now, those are not bad careers by any means. Those are actually very respectable careers, but maybe that's not for you. Maybe that's just what your parent wants, especially for an Asian male or like an Asian person. It's always doctor, lawyer, engineer, accountant, you know, whatever. It's always like those. It's like one of those. But that's not the only careers in this world. That's not the only careers that will make you successful or rich or get fulfillment in life. There are many other paths.